Almost every single OUI police report that you read will state that the trooper or the police officer encountered the defendant and the officer noticed that the defendant, one, had bloodshot eyes or glassy eyes, two, had the odor of alcohol on his breath, and three, had slurred speech. Now this language, bloodshot, glassy eyes, odor of alcohol, slurred speech, is, I believe, in many instances just copied from the prior report and pasted into the new report, and it gets regurgitated by the prosecutor, and if there's a decision against the defendant, goes to the appeals court or even the Supreme Judicial Court, it just gets parroted by the justices as well. So to give you just one example, actually to give a couple examples, here are two opinions published last week from the appeals court regarding OUI. So one says, the trooper noticed that the defendant smelled of alcohol, his speech was slurred, and his eyes were bloodshot and glassy. Now this same opinion, it rules against the defendant, citing an earlier appeals court opinion in which, quote, defendant's eyes were bloodshot, speech was slurred, breath smelled of alcohol. In a separate case published last week, states, Trooper Sousa noticed that the operator of the Toyota, later identified it as the defendant, was, quote, emitting the odor of alcoholic beverage. His eyes were bloodshot and glassy. He further noticed that the defendant was difficult to understand because his speech was slurred. So I could go into my file cabinet here, pull out 50 to 100 OUI police reports, and they'll all have this language. Now, I'm sure in some instances the driver does have bloodshot eyes, the odor of alcohol, and slurred speech. But I think in just as many cases, the cop is just taking this from the old report and putting it into the new report, and it's just used over and over and over again. And the frustrating part is that everybody gives the cops the benefit of the doubt, and this is always used against the defendant. So if you're charged with an OUI, anticipate this language being in the police report and expect it to be used against you if you take your case to trial. I've written a blog post on this, and I'll put it in the description below.